Welcome everyone to Midwest Madness Crush on 'em All. We've got 32 of the fastest diecast monster trucks here to try to become the champion. All eyes are on Steve Jones and Carolina Crusher, looking to make it 2 in a row. Can one of the 31 other trucks take that flag from him? Find out next as we get ready for round 1. Kicking off the night in a good way here. First, in the near lane is the one-time Midwest Madness champion, Rudy Zilligy, out of Outlaw Motorsports, driving Rage. He is set to take on Carson Wells out of Wells Motorsports over there in the blue lane, driving Samson. Carson's looking for the mild upset. You know, Rage is looking for trophy number 2. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Rage gets out to an early lead, and Samson cannot chase him down. Gets crossed up over the bus stack over there in the far lane. And Rudy Zilligy and Rage is moving on to round 2. Let's take another look at that. What a perfect run. Up next, first, here in the near lane is Raylan Mullins driving Medusa. You know she's looking to build on the success that she had last month, but she is taking on the returning Brian Prazak out of Chaos Motorsports driving Monster Patrol. He is a one-time Midwest Madness champion. He's over there in the blue lane. Both trucks are staged, and they're waiting on the green light. And both trucks are even all the way down the stretch. They were fighting back and forth for the lead, but Medusa pulls ahead at the end, and she takes the win. We'll get back to the replay to confirm that was really close. But there you see, both trucks are absolutely going for it, but Medusa comes ahead in the end and gets the win. Coming up next, this is going to be a good one. Every time these two go at it, it's absolute fireworks. But first, in the near lane is the 4-time Midwest Madness champion, Nugget, driving Gravedigger, the 40th anniversary edition. But he is set to take on Rich Wagner over there in the far lane, driving Wild Hair. He's been to the finals twice, looking to make it again tonight. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Gravedigger gets out to an early lead and holds it all the way through. Wild Hair was trying to chase him down, was right there with him, but did not have enough. Gravedigger gets it done and is moving on to round 2. Wild Hair was making up some ground there at the end. Coming up next, this one's for Outlaw Motorsports Supremacy. First, in the near lane is Savvy Zilligy driving the Black Pearl. I want to give a special congratulations to her and Rudy on getting married this month, 2 of our own here at Midwest Madness. But she is taking on Mr. Outlaw, Bradley Graham, out of Outlaw Motorsports driving the Bad Company. He took last month off to work on that truck. He's back this month to do some big things. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And the Black Pearl jumps Bad Company off the line, but Bad Company came back in the end strong and made that close. Woo! We'll take a look at the replay on that. Black Pearl had the lead early. Bad Company looked like he came back in the end. There you see Black Pearl got barely crossed up over the car stack, and that gave room for Bradley Graham and Bad Company to storm through for the win. He is moving on to round 2. Coming up next, first here in the near lane is Chad Legit driving the Tropical Thunder. He's looking to follow up the success that he had at last year's Halloween event, but he is taking on Evelyn Mullins driving the Sparkle Smash over there in the blue lane. This is her second appearance out here on Midwest Madness. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Tropical Thunder gets out to a slight lead, but rolls it over there at the finish line. Chad Legit and Tropical Thunder rolls it over at the finish line and gives way for Evelyn Mullins to come through and make that close. Tropical Thunder had a big lead. Let's take another look at that. What a odd-looking crash. And wow, the back end of that truck got loose there on the bus stack. The back right wheel clipped, and that was just enough for Sparkle Smash to slide through and get the win. What a turn of events there. Sparkle Smash is moving on. Wow. Heading down to the track, the Midwest Madness track crew's down there to check on Chad Legit and Tropical Thunder. You know that's not the way he wanted to end his night. He had a good lead. He was absolutely going for it, but his back wheel caught the end of that bus stack and flipped him over. He is out of the truck. He is doing all right, but nonetheless, Evelyn Mullins and Sparkle Smash is moving on. Chad Legit will be back. What a absolute wild first round it's been so far, and the hits just keep on coming. Coming up next, first here in the red lane is the one-time Midwest Madness champion, Jalen Buford out of Chaos Motorsports, bringing his USA 1 Chevrolet to the line. That's the same truck he won with last July. He's looking to put it back in victory lane, but he is taking on Joshua Wells out of Wells Motorsports over there in the far lane, driving Dragon, who's looking to shake the first round blues that he's had going on for the last while here at Midwest Madness. Both drivers are waiting on the green light. And USA 1 gets out to a slight lead, but Dragon absolutely dumps the truck in no man's land, and the whole back end shoots out of it. Oh, man. USA 1 will take the win, but what happened to Dragon? Josh was trying to chase him down at the end of the stretch and just lost control and end over end in no man's land. What a crazy crash. Looked like something might have snapped in the back end of that truck there. Let's take another look at it. And yeah, he got squirrely at the end of the ramp there. And right there, it looks like something snapped. And there you see it. The wheel falls off and the other one shoots out. What a wild crash. USA 1 will be the winner. Expect the unexpected at this point, ladies and gentlemen. But coming up next, first, we got Ashley Obi out of Wells Motorsports driving the Wildflower. She's staged and ready to go, but she is taking on Charles Stevens driving Blue Thunder, who made it to the finals last month and is looking to put that truck in victory lane here tonight. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And two fast trucks going at it. They're even all the way through. Wow. Wildflower got some sick air there in the near lane. Blue Thunder gets into the mud pit. What a crazy close race that was. We'll have to get back to the replay to confirm. Two fast trucks giving everything they got. Looked like Wildflower barely got off the line first, but Blue Thunder makes up the ground. Wildflower goes over the bus. Blue Thunder stays straight, but they cross the line at about the same time. Let's take another look at it here. There you see Blue Thunder makes up the ground there, but Wildflower made up some ground in the air over the bus. That might be a draw, and yes, it is. We are gonna rerun the race. Both drivers heading back to the starting line. They have switched lanes. Charles Stevens is now in the blue lane. You can see that truck. He had some fun there in the mud pit getting out, but he is staged and ready to go. He is taking on Ashley Obi and Wildflower over there in the blue lane. Spot in the second round is on the line, and Blue Thunder had the lead, but Wildflower comes back in the end and gets it done. That has got to be a mild upset. Ashley Obi and Wildflower is moving on. This ought to be a good one. We got a family feud here in round one. Brother versus brother. First, in the near lane is Spooky driving the Mystery Machine. He's hungry for a win, but he is set to take on his brother Peanut over there in the blue lane driving Maximum Destruction. This is the truck's 20th year, and he's bringing a brand new truck to the line, looking to change his luck here at Midwest Madness. Both drivers staged and waiting on the green light. Mystery Machine gets out to an early lead, but Maximum Destruction comes back in the end strong. He made up so much ground over no man's land and in the air. Peanut blows the Mystery Machine out of the water, and he is moving on to round two. Coming up next, first here in the near lane is Corey Marvin driving the Northern Nightmare. He's staged and ready to go, but he is set to take on the one-time Midwest Madness champion Shaggy, Matt Cheever driving Gravedigger the Legend. He's looking for championship number 2 and to put that truck back in victory lane. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And they're even down the stretch, fighting back and forth for the lead. Wow, what a race. It looked like Gravedigger might have got the wheel in there at the end, but that's too close to call. We're going to have to get back to the replay to confirm. Both trucks were going for it. Corey was giving him no slack. Both trucks are even down the stretch, but right there, Matt Cheever barely gets ahead, and he holds it all the way through to the finish line. Let's take another look to confirm, but Matt Cheever is moving on to round 2. All right, coming up next, we got 2 concept trucks going at it. First, in the near lane is Jordan Mullins driving the Jurassic Attack. She's staged and ready to go, but she is taking on Aaron Church over there in the far lane driving Bakugan Dragonoid. 2 wicked-looking trucks waiting on the green light. And Dragonoid gets out to an early lead, and there's collision at the end of the track. Dragonoid gets across the line. He'll be your winner, but Jordan Mullins gets into him at the end of the track. Hopefully there's no damage there done to the Dragonoid, but nonetheless, she gets backed up. Aaron Church and the Bakugan Dragonoid is moving on to round 2. Let the good times roll. First, here in the near lane, we got Mike Council driving the WCW Nitro Machine. He's ready to go, but he is set to take on Chase Moyes over there in the blue lane driving the Backdraft Dodge. Both drivers are hungry for a win out here on the track. Neither's had much success. Waiting on the green light. And Nitro Machine might have got him off the start there, but Backdraft makes up the ground and comes back in the end. He gets stuck in the mud pit. What a race. What a race. Neither driver was cutting either one any slack. They were both going for it 100%. There you see Nitro Machine might have barely had a lead, but Backdraft came back in the end and got it done. He's moving on to round 2. Coming up next, first in the near lane, we got Jared Booker bringing the brand new Wildfoot Ford to the line. That is an awesome looking truck. He is staged and ready to go, but he is set to take on Austin Wagner driving the Earthshaker Fire over there in the blue lane. He's looking to turn his luck around here on the track. Wildfoot's in his way, waiting on the green light. And Wildfoot gets out to a huge lead and does not look back. Earthshaker started to make up some ground there at the end, but too little, too late. He gets rolled over. Jared Booker and Wildfoot is moving on to round 2. Let's take another look at that. What a great run from Wildfoot.
Well, next up here in round 1 competition here at Crush 'em All, we've got Caden Prazak, the Predator machine powered by a big block Chevrolet out of Brentwood, Tennessee. Ready now on the inside lane. He will now take on Walker Stevens, son of a digger out of Poplar Branch, North Carolina. Ready to go on that far lane here in round 1 matchup at Crush 'em All. A big shout out to Mitch Brown for allowing myself and the MTA staff to commentate this round 1 matchup. Both trucks are now staged as we wait for the green light here at Crush 'em All down the straight stretch. Stevens with the early lead, and he puts the screws to Predator here early on in round 1 competition. Hits the RV in the shutdown area, nearly avoids the mud pit. Not sure if he tagged Earthshaker there up against the wall. Caden Prazak may have had some mechanical issues. Taking another look here. Stevens had him from the start, and Prazak just barely almost into the mud, rolls back off of the hill, but Stevens hits the RV in the shutdown area. Track crew officials are down there to roll him back over. There you see some damage done to son of a digger, but nonetheless, he will advance on here into round 2 at the Crush 'em All event.
And coming up next, first here in the near lane, we got Megan Prazak driving the Heartbreaker out of Chaos Motorsports. She's looking to get that truck to the next round, but she is set to take on Mrs. Outlaw, Emily Graham out of Outlaw Motorsports driving the Barefoot Dodge. She's been close so many times out here on Midwest Madness looking for that first win. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Barefoot gets out to a slight lead. Heartbreaker was giving her no slack, but Barefoot is moving on to round 2. Emily Graham is on a mission. Coming up next, first here in the near lane, we got Jeffrey Skipper driving the U.S. Air Force Afterburner. He is set to take on the debuting Jason Wook driving Prowler over there in the far lane. Jason's looking to get a big win here in round one. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And they're even down the stretch, but the U.S. Air Force Afterburner gets it done there in no man's land. Has just a little more in the tank, and he is moving on to round two. What a good first run for Prowler, though. Closing out the first round. First, here in the near lane, we got the reigning and defending Midwest Madness champion, Steve Jones, out of Team MTA, driving the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet. He is set to take on Ethan Wagner over there in the far lane, driving the Cyclops. Battle of Chevys in the first round. Ethan's trying to spark the upset. Steve Jones trying to make it 2 in a row. Waiting on the green light. And Cyclops gets the lead off the line, but Carolina Crusher might have made up the ground in the end and came back. What a race. There you see, Cyclops gets out to an early lead, but Carolina Crusher makes up the ground and gets the win. He is taking the flag in round two.
What's up, guys? Bradley Graham here, coming at you with a pit report update here after round one. By that image there, you could tell it's not going to be good, but here we got Chad Legit with the Tropical Thunder machine. He thinks he may have locked up a planetary after that round one race. And over here, there you see Joshua Wells in the Dragon machine. Man, he tore up some equipment here tonight. In round one, unfortunately, he's not sure if him and his crew is going to get it all fixed tonight as they want to watch the action, but we'll be back to check on him here in a bit to see if he's going to get it all back together or if he's going to worry with it later on. And then over here on the other side, you see the Stevens boys. Charlie got all mudded up and Walker with a little bit of damage. We're going to continue to keep you updated with these guys, and we'll be back with another report here shortly.
Well, a big shout out to Downtown Mitch Brown for letting me jump into the commentary booth tonight. Round two action coming at you. Rudy Zilligy in the Rage Chevrolet. Stage now on the inside lane. Look consistent in round one. Let's see what he's got to go against the old Ford there in that far lane. It's Raylan Mullins in Medusa ready to throw it down here in round two competition at Crushing Them All. Who will advance on into round three? Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to find out the Ford versus Chevrolet now. The green light goes down even down the stretch. Rage is in trouble, and Medusa may have pulled it out in the end. Problems for Rudy Zilligy and Rage on the inside lane. Not sure if that right front planetary locked up on him when he went over the first set of cars. Raylan Mullins and Medusa is your round two winner. We got to go back and check out our Midwest Madness replay. Watch the inside lane. They're even down the stretch, and watch the last jump there. Zilligy in trouble, turning the truck over. And again, another look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure if that planetary locked up or if he just flat out took a bad bounce. Now the Midwest Madness crew is down there to flip Rudy Zilligy and Rage right side up. There you see a little bit of body damage may be done to the front of that truck. Nonetheless, Raylan Mullins and Medusa will advance on to the next round. And as they get Rage turned right side up, there you see the front end damage done to Rage. A lot of work to be done, but the crew, with no doubt in my mind, will have that truck back and ready to go for the next Midwest Madness event. A tough break for Rudy Zilligy and Rage as they get ready to tow him off the Midwest Madness course again. Raylan Mullins and Medusa, your round two winner.
How cool was that? Thank you to Steve Jones for hopping in the commentary booth for a little bit. He is heading back down to the track to get ready for his round two race. But coming up next, we got the four-time Midwest Madness champion, Nugget, driving Gravedigger. He is set to take on Mr. Outlaw, Bradley Graham, out of Outlaw Motorsports, driving Bad Company. Bradley's looking for a little bit of revenge here. These two have faced each other on the track a couple times, with Gravedigger taking the previous two meetings. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And both trucks are even down the stretch. Gravedigger gets some air there in the near lane, and both trucks cross the finish line at the exact same time. They were neck and neck the whole way through. Wow. We're going to definitely have to check the replay on that. Who knows? What a race. Two fast trucks giving everything they got. There you see even all the way through. Bradley Graham went up the middle, and Gravedigger went over the bus stack there, and that might have been just enough for Bradley to sneak the wheel in there. And yes, Bradley Graham and Bad Company is moving on to round three. What a close, good race. Coming up next, first here in the red lane, we got the one-time Midwest Madness champion, Jalen Buford out of Chaos Motorsports, driving his USA 1 Chevrolet. He is set to take on Evelyn Mullins over there in the blue lane, driving Sparkle Smash, who looked fantastic in round one. Both drivers are staged and ready and waiting on the green light. And USA 1 gets out to a slight lead, but Sparkle Smash comes back in the end and gets the win. She gets stuck in the mud pit, but nonetheless, Evelyn Mullins and Sparkle Smash is moving on to round 3. Looks like Jay got caught up over the bus stack there, and it cost him the win. Sparkle Smash is moving on. Ooh, another good one. First, here in the red lane, we got Peanut driving the Maximum Destruction. He looked fantastic in round 1. It might just be his night, but he is set to take on Ashley Obi over there in the blue lane, driving Wildflower out of Wells Motorsports. She's looking to take Wildflower to round 3. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Wildflower gets out to a slight lead, and Maximum Destruction gets bobbled up over the car stack for just a little bit, and that gives room for Ashley Obi and Wildflower to take the win. She is moving on to round 3. Coming up next, first here in the near lane, we got the one-time Midwest Madness champion, Shaggy Matt Cheever, driving Gravedigger the Legend. He's looking to get that checkered flag back here tonight, but he is set to take on Aaron Church over there in the blue lane, driving the Bakugan Dragonoid. He's hungry for a win as well. Spot in the third round awaits the winner, waiting on the green light. And Gravedigger Legend gets out to about a truck length lead, but Dragonoid comes back in the end strong. Looked like something might have happened to Gravedigger Legend there in the near lane, but nonetheless, the Bakugan Dragonoid made up a lot of ground there. Let's take another look at it here. Gravedigger Legend has a huge lead, but something to do with that front left tire. Let's take one more look at it. What an awkward bounce, and it gave just enough room for Aaron Church and the Bakugan Dragonoid to come back and get the upset win. Wow. Coming up next, first here in the red lane, we got Jarrett Booker driving Wildfoot. That is a wicked-looking truck right there, but he is set to take on Chase Moyes over there in the blue lane driving Backdraft. You could tell he had some fun in the mud earlier. Spot in the third round is on the line. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And they're even down the stretch, but Wildfoot puts down a fantastic run. That might have been the fastest run of the night. Jarrett Booker and Wildfoot is moving on to round 3. Whoa! Coming up next, we got a rematch from last December and what many consider the greatest comeback in Midwest Madness history. Let's take another look at it here. Son of a Digger gets Barefoot off the line by an absolute mile, but somehow Barefoot comes back in the end and takes the win. But it is February, and it is rematch time. First here in the red lane is Walker Stevens driving Son of a Digger. You can see some damage done to his truck, but his team's confident. They are set to take on Mrs. Outlaw. Emily Graham out of Outlaw Motorsports driving the Barefoot Dodge over there in the blue lane. She's looking to make it 2-0. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And they're even down the stretch, but Son of a Digger gets across the line first and takes the win. Gets some revenge against Emily Graham and is moving on to round 3.
Back here again with another pit report after round 2. You see here Rudy Zillage costing me some money here on the Outlaw team. He did not get the win, but he had his foot to the floor trying all he could. He lost out just barely, rolled the truck over, lost the hood, checking on some front end suspension damage over there. I'm trying to give him a hand whenever I can as well. And back over here looking at Joshua Wells, it looks like they've got the truck mostly back together in between rounds here. He's trying to keep an eye on the action as well. They got the new body. They're going to see about getting it put on. And back over here with Rudy, trying to get him finished up to see if he can get it fixed before he head home.
Coming up next to close out an awesome second round. First, here in the near lane, we got the reigning and defending Midwest Madness champion, Steve Jones, out of Team MTA, driving the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet. He is set to take on Jeffrey Skipper over there in the blue lane, driving the U.S. Air Force Afterburner, who looked good in round 1. Kenny dethroned the champ. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Carolina Crusher holds the lead, gets some good air over the bus stack, and gets the win. Jeffrey Skipper just couldn't make up the ground. Steve Jones and Carolina Crusher is moving on to round 3. Coming up next to kick off the 3rd round. First, here in the near lane, we got Mr. Outlaw, Bradley Graham out of Outlaw Motorsports driving Bad Company. He is set to take on Raylan Mullins over there in the blue lane driving the Medusa Ford. She's looked good all night. She is 1 race away from the semifinals. Chevy versus Ford, both drivers waiting on the green light. And Bad Company gets the lead out of the gate and gets about a truck length lead there and takes the win. Bradley Graham and Bad Company is moving on to the semifinals. The GOAT Steve Jones is working his way back up to the booth. He's going to commentate another race. What an honor that is. But first up here in the near lane, we got Ashley Obi out of Wells Motorsports driving the Wildflower. She has looked good tonight, but she is taking on Evelyn Mullins over there in the blue lane driving the Sparkle Smash, who's looked good as well. Spot in the semifinals awaits the winner. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Sparkle Smash has a slight lead going down the stretch and holds it all the way through. Evelyn Mullins and Sparkle Smash gets the win by about a half a truck. And here's the replay for it. Wildflower just couldn't make up the ground. Sparkle Smash is moving on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next up here in round 3 competition at the Crush 'em All event right here on the Midwest Madness YouTube channel, Jared Booker, the Wildfoot Ford out of Pacific, Missouri, ready to rock and roll in the inside lane. Over here in the far lane now is Aaron Church, Bakugan Dragonoid. He's been consistent and strong all night here at Crush 'em All. What's he got for the Wildfoot Ford here in the inside lane? Green light going down now. Wildfoot with the lead over the cars. It's close down to the finish line. Wildfoot just barely edges into the mud pit, and Dragonoid trying to make up the ground over the last set of cars. It was close all the way down as we go back to our Midwest Madness replay. Off the line, Jared Booker and Wildfoot holding the lead down the straight stretch. Watch right here as they go over the last set of cars, and it's close all the way down to the finish line. And there's your look at our photo finish. It's going to result in a tie between Dragonoid and the Wildfoot Ford. So what that means, right here at Crush 'em All, both drivers are going back to the start line. They will switch lanes. Booker in the far lane, Church in the near lane. Who wants it more now? Green light goes down. Wildfoot with the lead. Dragonoid turns it over, trying to play catch up, and once again, Jared Booker barely puts the Wildfoot Ford in the mud. Aaron Church making a run for him. Got crossed up in no man's land. Went towards the van stack instead of the racing lane as we take another look here. All out of shape in no man's land. Cartwheels it right over top of the van stack. And again, yet another look here as the Midwest Madness camera crew doing their job here tonight. And Wildfoot is the round 3 winner as Aaron Church and Dragonoid goes for a wild ride there. And watch Wildfoot over there practically riding that nose wheelie all the way across no man's land. And you know what? It kind of reminded me of this.
It's different from the get-go, just sitting on the start line. Look at that wheel stand. Whoa! That second ramp with the rear tires, that's not the configuration.
The incredible Andy Brass wheel stand and Wildfoot from 1993's Pin the Point series, but nonetheless, Jared Booker moves on in the semis. Aaron Church and Dragonoid as they roll the truck back over. There you see some body damage done to that machine. They're getting ready to tow him off the track. He was strong all night, and it's not for a lack of trying, but I guarantee you Dragonoid will be back at the next Midwest Madness event.
Back here again, this time after round 3's pit report. Here you see Aaron Church and the Bakugan Dragonoid. Got a lot of body damage going on, especially in the back there. They're going to see about getting it fixed up before they head home. They may or may not. We'll continue to see. And there in the background, you see Joshua Wells still wrenching on the old Dragon. He tore it up pretty good here tonight. Chad Legit checking the other planetary now. They got the left front fixed. They're going to try to get the right front fixed now. And there you see Rudy still wrenching on the old Rage machine after that bad crash in round 2. That's going to wrap it up here for the pit report. Thank you, guys.
Coming up next to close out the third round. First, here in the near lane, we got the reigning and defending Midwest Madness champion, Steve Bad to the Bones Jones out of Team MTA, driving the Carolina Crusher. He's looking to take that flag into the semifinals, but he is set to take on Walker Stevens over there in the blue lane, driving Son of a Digger. He's got some body damage, but he's been looking good tonight. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Walker gets out to an early lead, but Steve starts chasing him down there at the end. They meet door handle to door handle at the finish line. Woo-wee, what a race. What a race. That's going to be hard to call. We're going to wait for the replay to confirm. I don't want to misspeak. And Steve's front left tire catches up on the car stack, kind of like Gravedigger Legend did earlier, and it gives room for Walker Stevens. He's moving on to the semifinals. Kicking off the semifinals, we are down to 4. First, here in the near lane is Bradley Graham, Mr. Outlaw, out of Outlaw Motorsports, driving the Bad Company. He is one race away from his first ever finals here at Midwest Madness. I want to give a thank you to him for helping out with the pit reports tonight. But he is taking on Evelyn Mullins over there in the blue lane, driving the Sparkle Smash. She's looked pretty unstoppable as well. Spot in the finals awaits the winner. Neither truck has ever won on this track. Waiting on the green light. And Sparkle Smash gets out to a big lead, but Bad Company comes back in the end and makes that close. Bradley Graham made up a lot of ground there at the end of the track. Sparkle Smash had a lead for about 80% of the race. Let's get back to the replay and confirm. What a semifinal matchup. There you see Sparkle Smash gets out to about a truck length lead, and then Bad Company comes across no man's land there, strong over the car stack on 2 wheels nonetheless, and barely gets the win. Bradley Graham and Bad Company is moving on his first final here at Midwest Madness. Coming up next to close out the semifinals, the winner is going to take on Bad Company. But first, here in the near lane, we got Jarrett Booker driving Wildfoot. He is set to take on Walker Stevens over there in the blue lane, driving the Son of a Digger. A spot in the finals hangs in the balance. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Walker gets out to a huge lead. Wildfoot trying to come back, but he can't do it. Walker, Stevens, and Son of a Digger, I think, got the win. Wildfoot did make up a lot of ground there in the end, but I don't think it was enough. Walker Stevens gets stuck in the mud pit. Look at that jump off the line, but Wildfoot made up a lot of ground. It wasn't enough. Walker Stevens is moving on to his first final here at Midwest Madness to take on Bad Company. It is finals time, ladies and gentlemen. We started with 32 trucks, and we've worked our way down to 2. First, here in the near lane is Bradley Graham, Mr. Outlaw, out of Outlaw Motorsports, driving the Bad Company. He's never been to the finals here at Midwest Madness. He's hungry for a win, but he is taking on Walker Stevens over there in the blue lane, driving the Son of a Digger. He rolled the truck back in round 1, dethroned the champion in round 3, and is looking for the flag himself here in the finals, waiting on the green light. And Walker gets out to a huge lead, but Bradley's coming back there at the end. They meet across the finish line, door handle to door handle, and both get stuck in the mud pit. What a final race that was. We'll definitely have to check the replay to get a winner. Pretty much impossible to call. Take another look at it here. Walker gets out to a huge lead, but Bradley comes up the middle like he's been doing all night long and might have just took that race from Walker. Let's take another look at it here. Walker kind of hits hard there on the front 2 tires, and Bradley comes up the middle strong. It's still too hard to call, but Bradley Graham gets it done. Bradley Graham is now a 1-time Midwest Madness champion. What a night of racing. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and watching Midwest Madness Crush on Them All. What an awesome show this was. Definitely one of my favorite ones that I've ever done. But congratulations to Bradley Graham and Bad Company on claiming your first championship. And we will see everyone next time, March 26th, for an unnamed Midwest Madness event. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I've been your host, Mitch Brown. Also want to give a shout out to Bradley Graham and Steve Jones for helping out in the commentary booth and with the pit reports. Definitely one to remember. Thank you, everyone.